Hello and welcome to Daily Spark. I am Dr. Angela Chester and I'm so excited to introduce my panel to you today. We are talking empowerment. We are talking a little bit girl power today. So I will, if you don't mind, ladies, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself to our viewers today, starting with you.
Well, good evening. My name is Canna Lee and I'm from North Little Rock, Arkansas.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Morenda Wysinger. I am originally from Chicago, Illinois, and I am now living in Albany, Georgia.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nicole Jones. I currently reside in Northern Virginia. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, though.
Hello, my name is Shalynne Barr, and I am from Novi, Michigan, originally from Detroit.
Right. So welcome, ladies, to the show. Thank you so much for being a part of this panel today. So we're talking empowerment. So not only are we speaking to adult women, but we're also speaking to our teen girls. We want them to know that they can be awesome, no matter what anyone else tells them. And I think one of the ways that we do that is by letting them know a little bit about us, letting them know that we have overcome some things and that we've had some questions along the way too, that we didn't just miraculously end up perfect, right? That we've had some bumps and some bruises, right? And then we all have a story to tell. So my questions today for you are going to be kind of in that vein, okay? So the first question that I want to pose to you is, what do you love about yourself? We'll start with you, Canna.
What I love about myself is I'm free. I never really experienced freedom before. Making a lot of money, being successful is not freedom. Freedom and liberty in Christ is freedom. And now I can have that success. Now I can have those things that I couldn't have before. So I would describe freedom.
Freedom.
Yes.
That's great. Well, for me, I would say my personality. The reason why I would say that is because apparently my personality draws young women and young girls. So I would have to say my personality, but one of my favorite quotes is, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
I like that.
Okay, what do I love about myself? I love that I don't have to do everything the crowd is doing. I'm content with making a decision and it's just me, and everyone else is free to make their decision. But if I'm by myself, okay, then oh well. So I love that about me.
For me, I would say I love my sense of humor. It just kind of comes out. See, I don't know. I'm like, God just blessed me with this sense of humor, and it's just fun. It's just fun. So I love that.
And it's really important that we have each one of these qualities. I love how you each said something different, but yet they are all so important. We need freedom. We need personality. We need to be able to be okay with ourselves. We need to be able to have a sense of humor about the things that go on in life, right?
Yes.
So, perfect person here. I love it. I absolutely love it. So, what is something that you do really, really well? We do a lot of stuff that's good. We do some things that we think that we need to improve upon. But there's that one thing that we know without a shadow of a doubt that we do really, really well. Some people say, well, I can bake a mean cake. I make the best roasted chicken. Some people say, I can braid hair, whatever it is. What is something that you do really, really well?
Read out loud, public speaking.
Okay. Some people are afraid to do that.
I know. So when you can do it well.
I love it.
Yes. Well, for me, I would have to say be a mommy. Be a mommy. That's what I do best.
Organize.
Got ya.
thoughts, places, people. I want to say people, places, things, though, but I love to organize, just concepts, ideas. Doesn't matter.
For me, I would say it's seeing things through to the end.
Yeah.
I don't quit. You know, when I decide and I'm on a path to do something, I will see it through till the end. I will keep on going. And that, for me, was a big deal because I wasn't always like that. I would stop. This is too hard. You know, whatever. But I will see something through to the end now.
And that is so important, and I'm glad that you mentioned that because I believe it was Will Smith that said it, and I'm sure most people can relate. He says, you know, when you're exercising, especially when you're deciding that you're going to take up jogging, and you get that little voice in your head that says, okay, we need to stop. We've run long enough. Quit it. And I think we've all had that experience, right? And it's like if you can learn to quiet that voice, when you can learn to still that voice and go past what your normal point of resistance is that's when you'll find your moment is usually on the other side of that. I love that. So being able to go through and be persistent. Now I'm going to ask a little bit of a different question. Okay. And this is not meant to, you know, throw anybody under the bus or anything like that. Because you know that I'm all about let's shine the light on everyone, right? Let's shine the light.
Okay.
But when was the last time you did something for the first time? So when was the last time you did something for the first time?
I'll give them time to think. I'll answer first.
Okay.
Which puts me in a hot seat to go next. Okay, let's see.
The last time I did something for the first time, in our old neighborhood, our neighbors had a nice sized swimming pool. And we're at, you know, just a neighborhood type of party, you know, just something, you know, just neighborhood. And for some reason that day I decided I'm going to jump off the diving board.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Never done that. I don't like the feeling of falling through the air, no matter what. It took me about 10 minutes, but I walked out on the edge and I sat down even. And then I stood up and everybody is cheering, Shalynne, come on, you can do it, you can do it. And I did it. I jumped off the diving board.
Good job.
That was a big deal for me.
Yeah.
Last time
I
I
can see
had
that.
ever did something like that the first time.
The first time. I can see, yeah, jumping off the diving board. That's a high five moment right there.
But I did it.
I can see that. Anyone else have?
I traveled out the country by myself, so it was pretty close. I didn't go far, but it was close enough. But I did it by myself, so I'm proud. It's something I'm doing.
That's great. That's right.
I don't have an answer yet.
That's okay.
That was a very good question that I have to actually think about. It appears that I'm not spontaneous enough. I haven't jumped off of a diving board yet.
Do you have anything to add, Kenny?
Well, you know what? Actually, I do have one. The first time I played with my nephew, ran around in the yard with him. Now, that's a big deal because I don't have kids and I don't really have time. So I took the time. Now my legs got off. Legs were sore, but my point was I took time and I had fun. I enjoyed myself.
Yes. And isn't that a wonderful thing? That out of all these answers, it is about doing something that is fun, about doing something that gets us out of our comfort zone and stretches us to the next level. And I absolutely love it. Well, viewers, we need to go to a break right now. So don't worry, we'll be back right after these.
Hi, my name is Canna Lee, and I'm here to give you a brief overview about myself. About 7 years ago when death hit. Death rocked my world. I lived my life for myself, by myself, up until that time. And when my dad passed away, that was the first time in my life that I took my life seriously. For the first time, I stopped working and thought about somebody and something else greater than myself. Even bigger than that, I actually thought about my own mortality. I thought about something bigger than myself. No longer was I the center of my world and center of my attention, but there was something greater out there for me. When my dad died, it was that time I got to see him in a totally different light. He was nice and he was kind and he was thoughtful. Something I'd never seen him before. I know I didn't do it. My brother didn't do it. My mom didn't do it. So that must have been an act of God. See, I didn't grow up in church. So I didn't grow up with that experience in my life. I didn't even know Jesus lived a sinless life. But at that moment, I knew there was something greater. In 2012, I met my best friend, was the first Christian I met in my life. In 2013, when I saw myself as a sinner, that was the time that I surrendered. I saw myself in the light of God's law. And I wept for 3 days, not like somebody hurt my feelings, but I was sorry. I was sorry in my life, so much so that I encountered heaven, and now my life has been changed forever. Not by my own doing, but I encountered Jesus Christ for who he is. Changed me totally. The very first thing that he changed my speech. He changed my words. No longer did I use my words for sarcasm and wit, but now he used my words for forgiveness, to forgive those who hurt me, to look at my life totally differently, not to look at the things that people had done wrong to me, but to look at myself and look at how wrong I was, and to use God's grace and his mercy to show to those who hurt me. It is only by his grace and forgiveness was I able to write those letters of forgiveness. And so I shared this message for you to be encouraged and inspired that what the Lord has done for me, he will do for you when you encounter him with a humble and broken heart.
Welcome back to Daily Spark. I'm your host, Dr. Angela Chester. So we are talking about empowerment for today. We are not only speaking to our fellow women, but to our young girls who want to be the best that they can be. So my question to you is, ladies, what gets you excited about life? What fires you up? And it doesn't have to be, something that's really, really major. But is there something maybe small or medium size that when you get it or you do it or you see it, that reminds you, oh yeah, my life is awesome?
That's me. When I see a problem that I know I can tackle for you, if I know you have something that's challenging, I want to try and challenge. I want to try and tackle it for you. Let me tell you what you need to do. Let me put you in this position. Let me tell you who you need to talk to. That fuels me. So let me help you tackle your challenge.
Good. So I'm a bit of a nerd, at least I think. A good idea to write down or jot down. Love it. Like, this is great. Something I feel like I can write. Phenomenal. Yeah.
I would say for me, I don't know, it's a little bit of a twist, but I love to knit. And it's a hobby for me, and I just love tackling a harder project. So I learned how to make socks. If you can knit a sock, then you are on your way. That's true. That's true. And so that just fired me up to go past my limitations, go past what I can make. I can make a scarf in my sleep, but a sock. That's right. Oh my goodness, it kept me going. Yeah. So just being able to do something just a little bit outside of what I can do easily, that fires me up. I love it.
I can see that, because you get to challenge yourself, and then you do it, and it's like success. Yes,
I did it.
What about you, Canna?
What fires me up? Well, maybe like when I'm having a bad day, things aren't going the way I want them to go, and the Lord put somebody in my path for me to bless. I get blessed and they get blessed, even in my mess. Even when I think what's going on in my life is just like, oh, so crucial. It's not. Because that person's life just got changed because of my mess. And so that keeps me motivated to keep pushing on when you want to just stop it. Take a break.
I love that. I love that. I love
She just
that.
said that her mess became her message.
Most definitely.
Oh.
I love it. That's why each one of you is on the panel, because there is something to share. I love it. Now, so many times, especially young women, think that success looks a particular way, that it sounds a certain way, it's supposed to shine a certain way, it's supposed to feel a certain way, if you will. Success is one of those things that it just depends on the person that you're asking. So to you, what does success mean, or what does it sound like? What does it look like? What is this thing called success?
I would have to say success is being successfully you. Once you've found your purpose and your calling and you're walking in it, you're successful. That's my take on it. That's how I define success. Walking in your purpose and your calling.
That's good.
I have to agree with that.
Nicole?
Sure, Nicole.
I don't know why I'm second. Okay, I would have to say ensure that I'm constantly loving people, but making sure everyone around me feels comfortable. That's success to me. It's not necessarily about me, but it's about the people around me. So if I can do what I do and people still comfortable, they still feel like they're somebody, then I feel like that's success to me.
I like that.
I think I would have to agree with Nicole. I live my life in this outward type of manner, is how I've branded myself, outward, where everything that I'm doing is helping someone else and connecting with someone else. And so if now that I've found my purpose and God is using me to connect and help people in this manner, when their lives are changed, that's the definition of success for me. That's the definition of success for me. So,
I think my success kind of ties into what you say. Success is not about quantity; it's about quality.
yes.
It's not about the number of people that are around. It's about that one life that has changed.
Absolutely.
So that is success for me. It doesn't matter if there's a room full of people and they're yelling my name and they leave the place that's not changed. It's that one person that the Lord uses me to touch, and they change, because every person they meet, they change.
That's great.
The ripple effect is success, because I'm just one out of the many being used.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I think there's someone sitting there going, oh my goodness, I'm so glad that I tuned in today. This is your spark for this day.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Now, we talk about the things that hinder us.
Okay.
And we are only hindered as much as we allow ourselves to be stopped, right? So, most of the time, women that are empowered have a stance of mountain be moved. You will not get in my way, right? I think that we can all agree on that. So, what is an obstacle that you think that we as women, that we need to start saying, mountain, get out of the way?
We're like, no. I'll go second. I'll go second. No. I'll go second. No. Go ahead. I get inspired by what you say. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I was my own mountain.
Okay, so
Did I take your answer?
I should have gone first.
You should have went first. Yes, I was my own mountain. I needed to tell myself that, yes, I can do this. Yes, I am this, and yes, I am that, and yes, I am a daughter of God. Yes, I am chosen. Yes, I'm loved by Him, and my talents and gifts can be used for Him. I was my own mountain.
I love it. I love it. And so many times we are our own mountains.
Absolutely.
And I think that is a great place for us all to say, mountain, including us, get out of the way.
Yeah.
For viewers, we are having a great time here, but we need to go and enjoy these commercials for a few seconds. So we'll be back right after this. And we are back. Thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark. I'm Dr. Angela Chester, and I have a beautiful panel of women here today that are empowering not only our fellow women, but our teen girls as well. Now, we have been talking about life from our own perspective,
right.
Things that we need to do, things that motivate us, things that really get us going. But I want to kind of shift gears a little bit and ask you the question of what makes you afraid. Many times we don't talk about the things that can stay nice and neatly tucked away in the closet. We can put it in our purse and no one ever knows. We're definitely not putting it on social media, right? But it is still a truth for us. And I think especially our teen girls need to know that though we are strong, though we are boss ladies, though we are doing exactly what we're supposed to do and living out our purpose, we've had moments where we were unsure, we were afraid, or we were scared. So can you share one of those moments that has really changed, that you were able to overcome that?
Well, I used to have this fear of being alone. And I don't have that fear anymore. You know, you do all these things, and sometimes when you move up the top, they say it's lonely at the top. And then, you know, there's a point where, because I wasn't married, I didn't have anybody, and I couldn't date, and then you're moving up, and then it's like, well, what if I get old and I'm by myself? I used to have that fear. I don't have that fear anymore because I live my life for Christ. But that's something to put out there because those are not things we talk about. Like you just said, we don't put those on social media. We don't talk about those type of deep-rooted fears. But what if I get old and then I'm by myself? Then what? You know, and that used to be one of my fears. You know, and that used to be the thing that drive me to want to have somebody because of that fear.
And I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because I think it's really important that we realize that it is okay in our singlehood. We are still great people. We are still validated in our singleness. And don't be desperate to be in a relationship and choose the wrong person, and then you end up being pulled off track. So you have, right? That's a whole different show. I love it. So thank you for being open and honest about that, because somebody really needed to hear that, because they're right there trying to decide. Very, very good answer. Go ahead.
Oh, for me.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm second to last.
Well, I'm going to be transparent here and vulnerable.
Okay.
This right here, what you're looking at right now,
Okay.
is something that I was afraid of. It was a mountain that had to be spoken to be removed. And that is allowing myself to be a public figure. I was a very private person. I still am very private. However, I've had to overcome some things to make sure that I didn't allow what people may say on social media, because the internet is mean.
Oh, yes.
The internet, as the young people say, has no chill at all.
None.
So for me to be on camera and to be talking about things in my life, this right here is me speaking to a mountain and saying, be ye removed.
That's right.
So thank you for having me on your show.
Glad to help you move that mountain.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. I think it's being known is definitely a fear, and almost anything new, really. You know, there are just levels of fear, you know, but at the end of the day, if it's something new and there's a level of uncertainty in it, there's a level of fear. So.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to join you in that transparency. So as a child, I used to be afraid of the dark. Just afraid of the dark. I don't know what's there. Not the boogeyman type of thing,
right.
but just scared of when all the lights were out. And so as an adult, I found that darkness changed just a little bit, but it was still there. The fear of the unknown. The fear of the unknown, which takes a lot to really, probably for women like us, that we have things under control. You know what I mean? We know, where we're going, we know what we're doing, and then to give my faith even over to God. Can you give me more than just what's about to happen today? You know what I mean?
Right.
What's next?
That's
the
right.
Fear of the unknown is that's the biggest thing. So.
Now, I know that many of us are on the various social media platforms, and it doesn't matter really which platform is best for you. But hashtags is a really big thing. We know that we need to use hashtags if we want our pictures to appear higher or in a better set or whatever it is. So what would you say is the hashtag of your life or the hashtag of what you do? I'll start with me.
Thank you.
To make it a little bit easier, because I see everyone going, oh my. So one of my hashtags is shine your light. I think that each person has a light within them and that they need to shine their light. So if we could very briefly just say what is your hashtag? Shine your light.
Real talk.
Real talk.
Tailor-made mom.
Tailor-made mom.
Get it done.
Get it done.
Hashtag Coach Shalynne.
Coach Shalynne.
Yes.
I love it. Well, ladies, I have enjoyed having you on the program today, and I hope that we are able to do this again soon.
Yes.
Viewers, I know that you have enjoyed this panel as much as I have, but I want to make sure that everyone is able to follow you. So, starting with you, Shalynne, if you would please, where can we find out more about you?
I can be found on my website at www.healthcoachshalynne.com, and that's SHALYNNE. And then, of course, there's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as YouTube, all with Health Coach Shalynne.
NicoleAJones.com. NicoleAJones.com. NicoleAJones.com.
TailorMadeMom.com. TAILOR mademom.com.
And I'm Canna Lee. You can find me on Facebook at Bread of Life Talk Show. You can also find me on Facebook at Confessions of the Heart. And also you can find us on YouTube at Bread of Life Talk Show.
Alrighty, viewers, thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark. And as always, I hope that you can carry this spark not only throughout today, but throughout your tomorrows. Until next time, everyone, stay awesome.
Bye-bye.